The idea of education is often presented as a level playing field, a system where anyone with talent and dedication can rise to the top. But behind that belief exists a far more exclusive and carefully controlled world. One where education is not just about knowledge, but about influence, power, and access to networks that shape the future. And in this hidden layer of society, a handful of institutions stand above all others, not just because of their academic excellence, but because of the kind of people they produce and the doors they quietly open.
Subscribe Luxon for luxury travel guides and dream destinations.
And among the most iconic of these is Eton College in England, a school that has become almost legendary for its role in shaping British leadership, educating generations of prime ministers, aristocrats, and influential figures, where centuries-old traditions blend with elite networking, creating an environment where students are not only taught subjects, but are immersed in a culture of leadership, confidence, and connection. And walking through its historic halls is like stepping into a system designed to maintain influence across generations, where friendships formed at a young age often evolve into powerful alliances later in life. And then there is Institut La Rosey in Switzerland, often referred to as the School of Kings, a place that takes exclusivity to an entirely different level. Known for having one of the highest tuition fees in the world and a lifestyle that feels closer to a luxury resort than a traditional school, where students move between campuses depending on the season, spending summers by Lake Geneva and winters in the Swiss Alps, surrounded by an international community of royalty, billionaires, and elite families, creating a unique environment where global connections are formed naturally and where the experience itself becomes as valuable as the education. And moving across the Atlantic, Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire represents another dimension of exclusivity, one that is built less on luxury and more on intellectual rigor. Known for its demanding academic environment and the famous Harkness method, where students sit around a table and engage in deep, discussion-based learning that encourages critical thinking and independent analysis, producing graduates who often go on to attend top universities and take on influential roles in fields ranging from politics to technology. And while its approach may appear more accessible than some of its European counterparts, gaining admission is still highly competitive, ensuring that only a select group of students can benefit from its resources and network. And then there is Harvard Westlake School in Los Angeles, a modern example of exclusivity that reflects the influence of Hollywood and the global entertainment industry, where the student body often includes the children of celebrities, executives, and high-profile individuals, and where academic excellence is combined with access to opportunities in media, arts, and business, creating a pathway not just to top universities, but to industries that shape culture and global trends. And finally, the Lawrenceville School in New Jersey stands as another pillar of elite education, known for its strong academic programs, historic reputation, and emphasis on character development, offering a balanced environment where students are prepared not only academically, but also socially and culturally for positions of leadership. And what connects all 5 of these schools is not just their prestige or high tuition fees, but the ecosystems they create. Environments where students are surrounded by peers who come from powerful backgrounds, where opportunities are abundant, and where networks are built that can influence careers, industries, and even global decisions for decades to come. And this is perhaps the most important and least discussed aspect of these institutions, because while the quality of education is undeniably high, the real value often lies in the relationships formed within these walls, relationships that can open doors to internships, business ventures, political positions, and collaborations that would otherwise be out of reach, effectively turning these schools into gateways to influence rather than just centers of learning. And beyond networking, these institutions also offer resources that go far beyond the standard classroom experience, including world-class facilities, access to top educators, and extracurricular opportunities that range from international travel and cultural exchange to specialized programs in science, arts, and leadership, allowing students to explore their interests and develop skills in ways that are rarely possible in traditional education systems. And yet this world of exclusivity also raises important questions about equality and access, because the concentration of opportunities within such a small group of institutions can reinforce existing social and economic divides, creating a cycle where privilege is maintained across generations. But despite these concerns, the demand for these schools continues to grow, as families around the world see them as investments in their children's futures. Willing to navigate complex admissions processes and high costs in exchange for the advantages these institutions provide. And as the global landscape continues to evolve, these schools are also adapting, integrating new technologies, embracing diversity, and modernizing their approaches while maintaining the traditions and values that define their identity. And when you step back and look at the bigger picture, it becomes clear that these exclusive schools are not just places of education. They are powerful systems that shape the next generation of leaders, innovators, and decision-makers, influencing not only individual lives, but the direction of entire industries and societies. And if you find these deep dives into hidden worlds of power, wealth, and influence fascinating, make sure to like the video, share it with others who want to understand how success is really built behind the scenes, and subscribe to the channel for more content that uncovers the systems and institutions that define life at the highest level.